Um, we most of the time we do YouTube and Facebook, but today I thought we would do something a little different, TikTok and Facebook.
Oh, so you're only doing two.
Yeah, I can only do two at a time
Oh,
because
okay.
I got that free account.
Ah. Oh, I thought you was paying all this time.
No, I mean I could, but I don't like then I would have to request a reimbursement from City Voices, and it's this whole thing, and
Oh, but I thought you don't you own City Voices? Isn't that you?
well, it's a nonprofit, so nobody owns it. It's got a board of
Oh,
directors. It's got
oh, okay.
three people run it, and
Oh,
then
all right.
we have like a lot of volunteers.
Damn, but I think you're doing a good job. You're really growing. And Katie has an idea you need to listen to.
All right.
Much later. It's still in process.
Oh, okay. No problem,
Okay.
Kate. Well, you know how to reach me, Katie, right?
Oh, yes. And you got my release, right?
Yes, thank you. You didn't get my reply. Thank you for the release. No.
Oh, probably. I've just been flooded with so many emails. It's been ridiculous.
Oh.
Katie, you want to try to make New Year's?
That particular one won't be ready for New Year's, but I am working on
Mm.
my presentation for this group as well.
Oh, okay, good thing. I'll give you some pointers.
So, you guys, we have a special treat today. Chaplain James has agreed to share his personal spiritual journey with us. So, I just want to say hello to Ananda, Tiffany, Cecilia. Hello, hello. Stan, Sila. Angela's here. Hello, Angela. And we got Gregorio. Hello, Gregorio. Uh, let's see, Gregorio. Well, hello, welcome, Gregorio. Ananda, oh, we said hello to Ananda. I believe we said hello.
Hello.
Hello. And all right, so Gregorio was oh, there's Gregorio. Hi, Gregorio.
Hi,
You're from Mexico, right?
I'm from Boston, but I live here.
Oh, you live in Mexico, right? That's right.
Yeah.
That's terrific, terrific. So we have a special guest speaker who will start in 18, 17, 16, 15. Wait, wait for it. 10, 9, 8.
Oh, I like this part there.
Listening?
All right. So
Oh,
let's see now. If everyone can just mute themselves, except for Chaplain James.
I was
And
wondering how I was gonna do that.
okay. All right. Now I'm going to introduce you, okay, Chaplain James?
By all means.
All right. Welcome to a very special Saturday spirituality group. We have and he's not just a guest, but he's a regular here at Spirituality Group, Chaplain James. Chaplain, what's your last name, Chaplain?
Just Chaplain James. That's how they know me.
All right. Well, that's what we call him, and that's what he's called. And without further ado, I present Chaplain James.
Okay. Um, let me see. You want to keep this on the spiritual side?
Any way you want to do it, Chaplain James.
Okay, I'll show you how I'll tell you about how I got into the spiritual side and then what comes off of that. Many people don't know I came from prison to a badge. I went through the Malcolm X Training Academy. That's what I call it. And Al Sharpton got me my badge because it was a $1,500 course, and of course, you know that I'm poor. I'm a poor black man, and he got it because he wanted chaplains to in his organization to represent his organization. I still to this day I always represent him and what he's doing and what he's trying to do. He's I see him as trying to uplift the black man and help to make them better. So that's what I try to do. I owe it to the world and to God. I'm on a mission from God to try to help man be better, efficient, and more effective, which I feel most people are not. We don't go after our potential. We don't go 100%. We do like 60, sometimes 70 or whatever. Oh, that's enough. Lay down and rest. Survival is something that you have to want it, you have to go for it, and you want to make it yours. And that's my philosophy. That's how I go out into the world. And if you want to know how I got into the peer realm, is because I was looking around for something and there was nothing, and it was like peers was on and they were doing groups. And my thing started during the pandemic, matter of fact, because that's when I got into it. Those 2 years of us being I remember I was at Columbia in one of the Beyond the Bars thing, and then that it was on a Sunday. It was 3 days: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then after that Sunday, we had a great time. It was all fun, and then everything shut down, and I was saying, "Damn." And I said, "Wow, this is terrible." So, in my time of shutting down, I ran into the peer world. Um, you know that what's that Dan the skipper? No, the what's that thing on 125th Street you all talk about all the time?
Howie the Harp.
Yes, Howie the Harp. I went to Howie the Harp, and that's when I just like lost my case at because I wasn't working. I lost it. And I was saying, well, I can do interviews. I know I can do interviews and I can talk to people and stuff like that. I went to Howie the Hub and I checked out their program. They told me I have to start all over again. And I said, get out of here. I'm not doing that. I'm already more skilled than half the people here. Why would I want to do this all over again? So what happened is ran into the peer world. Oh, I remember. Skipper told me if I take the core test, then she'll hire me. But that didn't happen. But anyway, I met Rita and Miriam, and they were two great people. And then I started going to their groups, and I liked the groups. I loved their groups, matter of fact. And I kept going, and then I could see how I can help with my skills, knowledge, and abilities. What I've seen was the peer world is a kind of gentler world. I said I can fit in here. And so as I've been calming myself down, let's say, over the years, because I was wilder and more stronger with my opinions and stuff when I first came in, right there. But anyway, I've calmed down. I learned how to be more gentler with my opinions and stuff like that. So that was the main thing, to try to fit in better with the the peer realm. And then I just stayed in and kept coming. And one thing that I like people that are different, that people that had life and death experiences and came back, because I also had the same thing. When I was 21 years old, I OD'd, my liver and kidneys stopped. The doctor told me that I was going to have to be in the hospital for the rest of my life on a dialysis machine. I laughed at him. I said, hell no, I'm 21 years old. I have something to do. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to find it. 30 days later, I walked out of the hospital. I said so that also lends to my mentality where I feel this like humans don't push themselves. They don't try harder. They do just a little bit and then they finish. And like, oh no. It's you gotta give maximum effort every second of every minute of every hour of every day. You just don't wanna you just don't wanna skate along. You wanna go for the gusto, let's say. And most people don't do that. And I can tell you, like, from my experiences, not only I just like to watch people because most of y'all don't know, but I live in the SRO. And here in the SRO is like every day I'm confronted by people that it's like they're not interested in living. They just want to do. You know what I'm saying? Any little thing slows them down, stops them, or keeps them from doing what they want to do. Those are things I take myself to say that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to be. Wake up, Dan. I don't want to be like that. You have to. I'll give you another example. Say there's a dog and it has 5 puppies. The one that wants to get to the milk, get to the teat, and be fed will be fed. The others, if they just lay there and cry and stuff like that, they're not going to be fed. So you have to, every moment of every day should be about progress. And these things I say is I basically hold myself to. It's like I do what I say and say what I do. It's like that, and that's how I like to push people and make people go on to that next level. Because most people don't understand their abilities or what they can do. They limit themselves too much. They let other people limit them. They slow their self down because they don't see anyone else doing it. No, push yourself. Be the best you can be at any given time. And that's how I go about life. Not only life, when I give my opinion to anyone, my suggestion, stuff like that. It's like never hold yourself back. Always be willing to learn something new, do something new, be someone new. I just made that up just now. But that's what you gotta have. I wouldn't want to be the same way every time. That is so boring. And we as humans, we're the smartest animals on the planet, but yet we act like the dumbest at times. You use that imagination, use your mind for good to make things better, not complaining about the weather or whatever limitations you have on yourself. Be the most, do the most, and have the most. Let me say, I think it depends on peer groups. Some are much better than others. Well, yeah, but I've been all around. I've been to many different groups, and I'm talking about the bell curve, Katie. I'm talking about the bell curve where most of the people in the middle. Then you're gonna have the ones at the end, the ones at the good end that are excelling, or the ones at the back end who just is underrated. You see what I'm saying? Everything, most of the things I say is from statistics and experience, from what I've seen. You know, I haven't been everywhere, but from what I've seen, that's what I could take in. It doesn't matter. You look at any group you want, and there's a certain thing that used to be said. I remember I was talking to Rita one time, and I said, you know, Rita, I think many peers lack confidence. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But the majority do. And those are things I think I could help with, assist with my totally positive nature. Any questions? I'm
Oh,
only
all
running out
right.
of steam right
Chaplain
now.
Chaplain James. That was
How
good.
long was that?
Huh? What?
How long was that?
That was like under 30 minutes.
Oh, okay, that's a good time.
So let's
Now
see.
we're open for questions or comments or whatever.
Well, Angela Serio put in the chat that she does not agree with you that the peer world is kinder and gentler. Is a kinder and gentler world. She
Why?
says,
Okay, wait. Ask her why.
she said because there are a lot of characters who are like high maintenance, like her cousin or some of the characters she's met over the years, present company excluded, she says.
Hmm.
And then
Okay,
Katie replied to that. She says, I think it depends on the peer group. Some are much better than others.
that's true.
I think for me, some of the peer groups I have encountered at least try to be more understanding and receptive to one another in regards to our shared challenges. And yeah. Oh,
Okay.
so how do you respond to that, Chaplain James?
Katie is right. Yeah. But I'm taking her like over. I'm talking about an overall pick, and then to the first person, I don't know how many people were put into her survey, so I can't speak to that. But I'm talking about a lot, and I'm talking about from my 2 years of experience going to Reader's Group, going to your group, Dan, and plus many other groups all around. You
All
see
right.
what I'm saying? I have large numbers in my statistics.
We got Gregorio with his hand raised. Go ahead, Gregorio.
Go
Gotta unmute you.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I don't have much to contribute regarding uh, personal encounters with people in our community uh, that would be beneficial to this conversation. But I will validate that what Angela said is also something I can relate with. And I also validate Chaplain, sorry, I don't know your name, Chaplain,
Chaplain
what
James.
what Chaplain James is saying, because his experience is also valid. And the general response I can give is that the recovery peer community is a microcosm of general society. And if
Yeah,
we know that general society has a lot of strong personalities, especially in the North American Eurocentric way, where we compete with each other. Um, I think it's fair to say that that is something that occurs. I know it personally from my experiences north of the border. And I hope that these kind of conversations can continue where all people who have had different experiences can understand each other. and work on ensuring that equity is the bottom line for all of us to strive to, because when we have equity in our communities, these other issues can be much more easily managed. So thank you for allowing me to speak. Peace.
Yes, Gregorio, why would we not allow you to speak? But we're basically saying the same thing. And yeah, I believe that that is the mission. That is where we have to work through each of our experiences, our times, or whatever we may have had. You see what I'm saying? We
But
all have
brother,
to find a way out. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I appreciate that you said what you just said. Why wouldn't we allow people to speak? And that's exactly why I'm joining groups like this, because I'm tired of not being able to speak and be heard. So,
No.
so thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I hate that. Oh, I hate that. Sometimes I get in groups and then they try to shut me down. I figure because they can't handle me, but that's all right. I would never do that to another. I can talk to anyone at any time about any subject. It
Hey,
don't matter.
we got another comment in the chat from Anya. She says, "Thank you, Chaplain James. I get a lot out of your shared experience. Also, I feel the peer groups, especially this one, help me a great deal. And they may not be the same or the same people. However, without the peer movement, I would feel kind of out of sync, to be honest, among other things."
All right, that's good. I appreciate that, Anya. And that's my mission, you know, in life. That's why I'm here. I want to use my knowledge, skills, and abilities to help someone be the best they can be. That's the mission. You know, we can differ on maybe statistics and different items and stuff like that, but where we come together is my thing is just to help you. It's like don't shoot the messenger, listen to the message.
All right. Now, Chaplain James, you shared just a little twinkling of your personal journey. And I was wondering if anyone has any questions for Chaplain James about his personal experiences, his life's journey that maybe you'd like him to elaborate on, or something you're interested in, or just any comment or question. It's totally open, you guys. Whoever wants to speak, you could raise your hand or you could just
Yeah,
speak. Unmute yourself and speak, you guys.
I wouldn't, cause I speak and like fast. I overlay things, but if it's something you want like to feel deeper or know deeper about, bring it. Here I am to save the day.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Katie.
Okay, so Chaplain James is reminding me of when we're talking about peer groups. I went to the Alternatives Conference, and I cannot remember what year, I do apologize, but it was the year of the solar eclipse during the conference. There were
Mm,
610 people from 10 countries. There were
wow.
classes all the way through the 4 days of the conference. The exciting thing to me was everyone getting together and sharing ideas as a peer, as someone who wants to uplift everybody else. 610 of us. There were two incidents, 610 in Boston during a solar eclipse. It was so amazing because there were two incidents in that entire time that were problematic. One person realized he was talking too much, timed himself out. That was the whole incident. The next one, woman thought she was having a heart attack, and I had learned ECPR, and so I came rushing over and did the ECPR procedure with her while we were waiting for a doctor to come because we all thought she was having a heart attack. But because there was a solar eclipse that day, the hospitals were at maximum because people were
Mm.
driving onto the sidewalks and running over people just because of the solar eclipse. Nothing was happening except this woman who was having this reaction. So we found out there were no hospitals available if she was having a heart attack, no ambulances available, nothing available to this poor woman. So I just did what I knew how to do, waiting for the doctor, not realizing that the doctor was doing the closing speech at the conference. So we worked with her. He finally showed up, and he's the one who co-founded the ECPR procedure himself. And he thought that she had hypoglycemia. She actually had diabetes. Someone ran up to her room, got her meds. The whole problem turned out to be she hadn't taken her meds. And after a few minutes more, after she took her meds, she went back upstairs, came down dressed to the nines, and went out to dinner. That's the power of the ECPR and the peer community helping this woman get through this, what turned out to be a panic attack and forgetting her meds. And nobody ended up in a hospital from that entire conference. Nobody had a total freak out where they couldn't handle it. 610 of us all there supporting each other, learning from each other. It was one of the most amazing conferences I've ever been to. And talking about peer group, the world was the peer group.
Fantastic.
Thank
That's
you.
a great example of like, peer support in action. And also like 2 out of 600, like that's under 1%. That's a lot, well under 1%. Very good, very good. And Casper,
Katie,
you
Katie, Katie, were you empowered because of the solar eclipse?
Uh, no, I just sort of lived through it. It was the whole city
Um,
was going insane, and so we were the sane sanctuary within the city that was just going nuts.
all
Thank you,
right.
Dan Fisher. I could not remember his name to save my life.
We got a number of hands up, Chaplain James. So let's start with Ann Casper.
Hey, Chancellor.
and all right.
Hey, yeah, I'm back, but I'm going back to the West Coast in 2 weeks. My question is, what peer principles do you work from? Number one, and then I'll ask the second question after you finish that.
Um, I well, as I said before, I noticed the peer world's a more kinder, gentler place. So I try to be a more kinder, gentler person. But other than that, everything is positive, stays positive, and will be positive.
Okay, second
Did that
question.
answer
What do
your
you
question?
see? Yeah, well, yeah, it's your answer. What do you see in the future generations for peer
I
system?
see, I see peers wind up getting stronger and fighting more for what they got. Because another thing you must realize, peers is like a new thing. It just been, it just came around. So a lot of the things that are wrong in it, because y'all aren't fighting closer and better for them. But it's not going to happen until you make it happen. And you see the things that are wrong, you try and fix them, as you do all the time, man. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going
But,
from defense to offense. I'm tired of being on defense. I've been doing that for 30 years, so I'm switching it
well,
out.
however you got to do it, but you're doing
I don't want
great
to fight
work.
anymore. I'm done fighting.
Oh,
I'm
you
done
never
fighting.
stop, man. You never
I
stop.
want to work with.
Darling.
Okay. Thank you. And then there's 100,000. I just read this online. 100,000 certified peers in the United States right now. So I'll just leave that. Thank you,
Wow,
James.
Wow,
that's beautiful.
that's like the size of the army of North Korea. All right. We got
Wow.
another hand up. Sila Grant. Go ahead, Sila.
Tyler, how are you?
Hi, everybody. Yeah,
Hello.
yeah. When he talked about having what's that confidence being low, but
Yeah,
for me as a peer, I believe that because when I became a peer specialist is because of these reasons, going through the trauma
right.
and coming out of it, healing, and I started
Right.
looking at those who are not considered to have mental health issues versus those who are considered to have mental health issues. But the way I see it, is that you got a lot of people out there who have, some people who are not considered to have mental health issues have their confidence are lower than those who are peer supporters.
Well, I don't make like comparisons like that because I deal with all people, any people. But what I can say to you, knowing you, Siler, from the two or three times I've been in groups with you, you are fighting. You are fighting to be better, no more, and stuff like that. I give you credit, and I give anyone that does that credit. The ones that just sit back, complain about stuff, do nothing about it, I don't. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference.
What I'm trying to say is that I'm not making a comparison. I wanted to know what was the difference between those who didn't have, considered not having mental health issues, and those who are considered to have mental health issues, are the ones who go get the help. So when we go for employment or anything else, some respect needs to be put on that, because ain't nobody in this world who have not been traumatized. Now,
Okay, all right, Trauma. That's why, Sheila. That's why you have to not let anyone else's opinion of you be your reality. You see what I'm saying?
in terms of what I'm thinking is that a lot of times when we go for employment, if we're not talking the way they expect or want us to talk, so we can get that job,
No,
opposed to
no,
those
no,
who
no, no. See, first thing you trying to live up to somebody else. You're holding yourself back by trying to live up to someone else's expectations, and you're trying to say, how does he want me to talk? You don't go out in life worrying about how someone wants you to do something. You be the best you can be. That's
that's not
all.
what
That's all. You don't think about how
James,
another person's feeling
James,
about you. Yeah.
James, when it comes to interviewing, it's scary because you want the
Okay.
job and you
You
want
have
to be
to get you get better at it. When I was like in the programs they had around, I went to learn about interviewing and stuff like that. There's places you can go to learn or practice with a friend. You have to get better with what you are weak at. That's what I say. If you're weak at something, get stronger. You already have the inner motivation to do that. Put it towards whatever you need. You understand that, Silent? Did I answer that question for you?
yeah, I
Because
just want
I know you. I've listened to you, so I know where you're coming from. But
James,
I'm saying, yeah, go ahead.
all I'm trying to say is that we as peers, and we are going for employment, especially employment, respect needs to be put on the confidence thing. Because as a diagnosis with a mental health issue, with the trauma and the stigma, that confidence within a peer support, a peer special or peer needs to have some respect on that thing called confidence, because it's stigma. It's not that we
Okay,
don't have confidence, it's that the stigma that's been put on it for so many years. So when we
take the
go for
stigma off.
work, we want to do the peer work, we support each other. Look at all the people
Okay.
support each other. And we support each other, and our confidence is there. But when we go
And
into
it'll build
the
up.
other, we go into the other world, respect needs to put on that confidence because of the stigma that was tied to it. And a lot
No,
of
no,
times,
Silas. See, I don't see it that way. How I see it is when you go into the other world, you bring your best. You go with your best shots. No one's gonna just give you something, and no one's gonna hold back on you because of that. They might not even know about the stuff that you're talking about and thinking about in your mind. You see what I'm
No,
saying? You got to go with your best.
I'm talking about the stigma and the employers
Wait,
should.
what stigma? What stigma? You're bringing the stigma in your mind. Do you understand that? You're already saying that there's a stigma there, and
Well,
you don't know if that's coming from the other person. That's coming from you. You see what I'm saying? That is the difference.
not
I
coming
would
from me.
say think about what I'm saying and then apply it. That's the best thing I could tell you.
Okay, okay. Thank
You're
you for that.
welcome. No, well,
Oh,
then we could talk more. Dan, put my number in there because anyone that wants to go in deeper with it, they're welcome. I'll put it in there.
all right. Well, despite our lack of understanding each other, we move on. So let's see. Tiffany, you had your hand raised. You still interested in engaging?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to know how the journey into the chaplaincy, how that happened, what that story is.
Okay, we went there. You were late. Hello? Am I on?
Me?
Oh,
Oh, me?
oh,
No,
you
I
said
was,
that?
Tiffany. We're going
Oh,
to
okay.
Tiffany right now.
Oh, if he said it, that's fine. Then I missed it. That's okay.
No,
No, I'll tell again.
tell it again, Chaplain James.
Oh, I'm on, right? My speaker's on?
Yes, sir.
Oh, is that the Al
Okay.
Sharpton part? That's where you
Yeah,
became okay. Okay.
yes. That's where Al Sharpton, matter of fact, I knew a chaplain that was in Nan back when I was in Nan, and she told me, she said, "Do you want to come to Nan to become a chaplain?" And then they showed me the badge. As soon as I saw the badge, it's like my light just lit up in my brain, and I saw all this kind of things I was going to do. Another story about that. Remember the last police commissioner, the tall, slim one, the one that came in before Sue, the black female, the one that he came to my where I worked for the voting. And he came there, he didn't have any guards or anything around him. I said, well, and he had his wife. I said, wow, this must be God's message for me to go and talk to him. So I went up to him, I showed him my badge, and I told him I came from prison to a badge, and I have ideas that can help me, you, and the people. And the next day, he had a superintendent of police call me, and I've been working with them ever since. And that's how my thing. That's how I got my badge. And Sharpton funded it for us because it was a $1,500 course. I ain't got that kind of money. And so that's why, above all, just truth and justice, I must stay hold to, and I must do accurately to the best of my ability.
Kira Labinger, go ahead.
Huh?
Oh, no, Kira doesn't want to talk.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
can I
Don't
just
be
add a comment?
scared, Cora.
That is so cool, Chaplain James. You had the courage to go up and talk to him. He gave you that gift. What a beautiful
I
story. I just
thought,
want to add that.
that's one thing. That's one thing I already said. That's the only thing I have. This is my mouth, and I'm going to use it. I think it comes from my childhood when they wouldn't let me talk or something like that. And I used to be shy. I used to be scared to talk in front of people. Now I love it. The more people, the better. It energizes me, you know?
I know this guy who used to talk a lot, but then he got all these feet stuck in his mouth. Um,
Well, And how
Yeah,
did that happen?
people had to like he needed surgery to remove all the feet from his mouth.
Oh my God.
Anyway, anyone else got anything for Chaplain James? All right, let's see what oh, someone's raising their hand. Oh, Katie, hold on a second, just a second, Katie. I want to see what's going on in the chat. There seemed to be a lot of action in the chat. Um, okay, so Chaplain put his number there. Oh, Katie's in the chat. Oh, Gregorio, I don't think he's with us anymore. But he
What
said
is love?
he left. Isn't that sad?
Oh,
Maybe he'll come back next week. He said he was a keynote speaker at Alternatives in 2015. He said he was kicked out of the peer community after that.
why?
He said he left the country in 2018. I'm still alive. Gotta go for now. See you next week. Stay strong. Love is the path. All right. So he said he'll be back next week. That's good. All right. Go ahead, Katie.
I just wanted to share as far as our voices being heard. Uh, I went to a meeting because I was sitting in for somebody else. And it was a town hall with Chris Murphy, who was running or had just been elected to the state senate, to the federal senate. Anyways, and he was talking about people with mental illness and our patients, and we want to help your patients, and we need to understand about your patients. And he had talked for a while, and I was getting more and more upset. And finally, he said, "Does anyone have anything they want to say?" And I kind of blew up at him and said, "I am not your patient or their patient. I am a consumer of mental health services. You need to stop talking about us as your patients. I use the services. I am a consumer. Could you please use the word consumer of mental health services, not patients?" And I was the first person to speak out. I really blew up at the poor guy. And all around the table at this town hall, everyone started raising their hand and saying, "I'm a consumer too." They were so afraid to let this man know that they were also consumers of mental health services. And by the end of it, he said, "Wow, there's a lot I didn't know. I need to learn more. I was only going to schedule 3 of these town halls. I think I need to talk to everyone in the state." And he went around and learned. And the next time I saw him, I went up and apologized for blowing up at him. And he said, "All I remember is you helped educate me." So sometimes when we feel that we aren't being heard, we need to speak up. And a lot of times it's to people who just haven't had that discussion yet, haven't known what a peer is or how to approach some of the issues we have, or even begin to understand some of the issues we have. The good thing about the employment interviews, there's a thing called HIPAA. You don't ever have to tell anyone that you have mental health challenges. It is up to you what you share and what you don't share. There are specific interview skills. Whoa, I've taken courses in interview skills. But just remember that a lot of times, if you're talking to someone about your mental challenges or your emotional challenges, they may not have any background in this. They may not understand, and you can be the one to help them understand. We build the peer community by sharing. That's it. Thank you.
Yes, Katie, I agree with that. Not only that, but I'll take it a little further, as I often do. It's why even don't let that be a focus in your mind. Just go in there free, clear, and open in the mind. That's what I'm saying. Saying don't think if you thinking is a stigma or something holding you back, it is. You know, so if you go with an open mind, open heart, and just go for it, give it the best you got, that's the way. That's what I'm saying. So, and with the peer thing, why even separate? People are people. You see what I'm saying? The more you separate yourself, the more you start being alone. And then one of the tenets of being a peer is to to be a consumer of the mental health thing. But no one has to know that. And because of HIPAA, that's you. So your only limitation is you limiting yourself. Stop doing it. That's what I want to say. That's my main point about the whole thing. Stop doing it. Give yourself the knowledge, skill, and ability to be able to move forward with people, regular people, job interviewing people, um, chief of police, whoever. You have to have the confidence to do it. I let nothing hold me back. I don't hold me back.
All right, now we have another hand up, but before we call on her, I ask that that you both try to come to an understanding of what you're saying and try do your best not to interrupt each other and give each other respect. Sila Grant, go ahead.
Yeah, well, Katie, she said it perfectly, and it's not on the behalf of the peer, the consumer. It's on the behalf of the of say per se. Okay, this came up in a whole lot of writings too about peer support specialists and obtaining these positions because the employers did not know much about peer specialists. They didn't know much about the peer specialists. So, being that there's stigma tied to having mental health, being a consumer, as Katie said, of a mental health um, programs or whatever you want to call it, um, that a lot of them did not understand it, and they referred to people in those ways. When the proper way, as Katie said, to say is that I am a consumer of mental health. I'm a consumer in a proper way, but they didn't have a lot of understanding about what a peer support specialist was, but they were hiring us. So the confidence in the peer supporter and the person who's obtaining the employment, it's a stigma. I'm talking about the stigma alone tied to mental health. And it being that the employers did not have all the information they needed about the peer support specialists, there's stigma tied to it. I'm talking about the stigma that can lower the confidence of a person when the employer does not know much about it. And then
Teach them.
how to express themselves as Katie did.
Okay, but
The
Tyler,
thing, the thing
all
is
right,
that
listen.
even people who are not consumers of the mental health system, they have low confidence as well when it comes to getting employment. So, what is the real problem? So, I think it's tied to the stigma of people being consumers of being consumers of the mental health system.
Okay,
That's what I
so
was.
Tyler, if that's
It's
what you believe, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to change it?
me. I empower people. I
Okay,
empower them.
there you go.
I use such
So
scenarios as I
that's your
can
way.
and trauma informed. I empower people.
There you
Just
go.
as
So
Katie
that
said, I'm a person. I'm a consumer of. I'm a consumer. You know,
okay.
don't think of me as a person who got these mental health issues and oh this and that. Now, however they fix their mind that they don't know nothing about it, so they don't even know how to address it. And
There you
sometimes
go.
sometimes during these interviews, they don't even know how to interview them because what's going through their mind is what you're saying. And we're not saying that about ourselves because we got the confidence already to even put in the application for the employment and then go to the interview after building up the skills to know how to interview correctly and
All right.
challenging those stigmas. I empower people. I said, just
There
because
you
you
go.
everybody got mental health issues,
So
but you got some people who are willing to. I got mental health to address it, and then you got those who run away from it. I ran away from it, and I had to come to the conclusion that everything wasn't all right with me. Something is not right.
is it right now?
I've changed a lot. I've changed a lot. I've empowered
Okay.
myself through education and
There you
being
go.
part of the.
That's the answer, Katie. So that's the
It's not
answer.
about
That's all I'm saying,
not the,
Katie. That's all I'm saying.
no, it's not the people. I'm talking about the employers, like Katie said.
No,
You know
no,
how
Katie.
he talked about
Silent.
being
Wait,
helping
wait.
the patient instead of a.
Silent. Let me break it in for a minute.
That's all I'm
You
saying.
can't worry about the people. They got their own problems, their own things to do. Only thing you can do is you. You can make you better, you the best you can be, and everything like that. You don't worry about the other people. That's their problem. You're worrying about too much stuff here. That's why you need a better focus. If you can understand what I'm saying. You don't worry about what other people thinking and stuff like that. That's not your problem. That's not your lane. Stay
You
in
keep
your lane.
keep taking it back and saying me, but I'm saying what Katie's saying, how she had to inform this person about being a consumer and not a patient. I need to
Okay.
be I need to be addressed just as a person who are not aware of their mental health issues or either to confront their mental health
Okay.
issues.
When the situation arises and you have that problem, then you do what must be done.
Well, she empowered him. She informed him, and that's what the thing is to do. These
There
people
you
need to
go.
be. They need
So
to.
are we saying the same thing, Sally?
No, because you keep saying it's me, and I'm talking about the people who don't have the knowledge about being a peer supporter or those who are consumers of the mental health system. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
They need to be informed. They need to be in this group so they can
There
learn
you
more
go. So
and build up
you
their
inform
confidence
them.
and build up their confidence about people who got the strength and the confidence to at least say, yeah, I'm a consumer. I'm not a patient.
All right, you guys. I think we got Sila, we got your point, and we got Katie's point. You both have a shared point about we need to educate the public about what a peer specialist is and educate the employers especially about it. Thank you very much for that. Now, Kira Labinger has been very patiently waiting with her hand raised. Go ahead, Kira.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, talking low again. Thank you. And
Hello.
yeah, hi. I
I'm
mean,
on a Zoom right
very,
now. As soon as I get off, I'll be right there.
I mean,
Thank
I've
you.
very much appreciate the peer community. I mean, that's an understatement. And I, listening to people talk, I agreed with different things personally that people were saying. And I wanted to ask, what other people think. I mean, I have sort of, experienced similar things in the peer community that I would anywhere else in a way. I mean, I think that um, there are certain things like the peer community, is more focused on and more action oriented in terms of, you know, helping others and empowering others. But I've also, and I think people were talking about this too, I've also experienced, you know, power trips and, uh, you know, discrimination and all, you know, like all these things. And, you know, I just, I don't know. I think that every community, um, you know, I guess I don't know. I mean, I think that different communities have different experiences and, can have very different experiences and different focuses. But I don't think that one is, like full of better people than others. I don't know what people think about that.
Do you mean like a totem pole, like a hierarchy of like people who are more valued than others?
I mean, that I think that there ends up being a hierarchy in any community, and also in relation to other ones. I mean, I don't think, you know, it's meaning that like I've had some experiences. I mean, I've had experiences in the peer community of feeling more accepted than in any other community. I've also had experiences where I felt more discriminated against, you know, than in other communities, or, um,
Okay,
you know,
discriminated in the peer community, right? Is that what you're
yeah,
talking? Okay,
I mean,
based on what?
based on, you know, either taking medication or not taking medication, um, or uh, I mean, I guess that, you know, that I've experienced like power, sort of, power, you know, like, people that, I don't know, seem to feel superior or something, you know, sort of a power trip, among, I guess, from people in the peer community and outside the peer community, and also, the opposite. I've felt, you know, more accepted and more empowered by people in the peer community and outside the peer community. I'm sorry, I'm not making much sense
Do you
today.
think is
I
it
just,
safer in the peer community? Do you feel it's do you feel safer in the peer community?
in some ways, yes, and then in not always. I guess it's I don't, I guess yeah, I don't
All
think
right, well,
it's like, you
that's all
know,
right.
I don't think there's, you know, I
There's
think
no
there's better.
perfect utopia.
Right. I think there are better and worse experiences and better and worse actions, you know, but I don't think that there are better or worse people fundamentally in any community.
All right, before we get to Tiffany and Anne, I think there's a bunch of stuff happening in the chat. Now, I know Angela had a comment. Angela, like said something about the word consumer. That the consumer was what, you know, first they called us, you know, insane, and then they called us mentally ill, and then they called us consumers, and now they're calling us peers. So like the words are going to change every 5 to 10 years about what we like ourselves to be called. And Angela had an issue with the word consumer, something to do with Nazi Germany. Angela, are you still there?
I sure am.
Okay, well, what was your beef with the word consumer?
Because it sounds like we're just taking stuff out of the economy, and I it's been equated with what the Nazis used to call the useless eaters, who were the mental patients who were the first people to be killed in the Holocaust.
And you also had a comment about the hierarchies forming in our movement. Can you address that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's just human nature. I've seen that since I first got involved in the movement in 1988, really. I mean, the hierarchies were really Some of the people are still up there, and a lot of them have passed away, but yeah, there are definitely hierarchies within the consumer movement.
Can you give us a little bit more detail about like why these hierarchies formed and how they appear to be?
I think it's just human nature, really.
So like human nature is to form a pecking order.
Yes.
Okay. And if you have a big beak, you get more seeds. Is that correct?
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Or size doesn't matter. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. We got Tiffany. Go ahead, Tiffany.
Yeah, as I was listening to the exchange and thinking about the times when I've filled out job applications and they ask that question, or have you ever had a mental health issue, or on Indeed, have you ever been diagnosed with a disability, mental or physical, you know? And there's that it's like sitting back and looking at the catch 22 that 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 question, puts a person in, because on the one hand, there's the honesty that acknowledging that right now something could happen that makes it to where like I literally cannot perform my job that I just applied for. And how do I communicate that truthfully and honestly? And what's my duty to the employer? But that's why it's the catch 22 right there, because it's like I need to feed myself as well. I need to be able to. So, I got into the peer movement. Like, this is my first quote unquote position from getting my certification, right? And being able to come in and look at like the different challenge, like, Angela just pointed out the people with mental health challenges were the first ones taken out during the Holocaust. And like being able to really sit back and look at the magnitude of what this specific community is faced with every day, and understanding the level of I don't know if dissonance is the right word, or the competing values, that when we're speaking to this one piece where we're talking about just something as simple as employment, which is also something as simple as disclosure, and when is disclosure important in these close relationships? And I don't have the answer. I'm just acknowledging the challenge, you know. And that's all I can do at this point, is acknowledge the challenge of what resonates for me, and what I pick up from everything that has been talked about today is the challenge of disclosure and when it's safe, and how um one could be in danger or at risk for disclosing, even in spaces where the other person or the other group of people would benefit from knowing, and then seeing how the other group of people would not accept that person because of. So do you see how I'm understanding the conflama? And I just wanted to acknowledge that that seems to be what was at the root of kind of the bit of um dust storm that happened today to me, when I look at, the earlier conversation. I think at the root is that disclosure. And I wonder, what I'm hearing from Sila is like, and I could be interpreting it improperly and things like that. And so it's just a lot of different, because for me, what resonated was disclosure and wanting to operate inside of integrity again, and the competing values of needing to take care of oneself at the expense of operating inside of honesty, you know, and it's it's a hard space. It's a hard space. And I just wanted to like send love to that space, you know, um, because it's anything chronic that could have an ill effect on others is a place where people get otherized and not accepted and thrown away and not allowed to participate. And I think that being informed and educated is important for employers and for everyone. And how do we address that? And how do we accept, okay, this group of people may not be able to perform to the capacity that benefits capitalism or things like that, but these people are still useful and people and should not have to live below or live at poverty or live in squalor or live in homelessness or live in, they should be able to live well as well and be able to, you know, give their gifts. And so I think it's such a dual responsibility that um, people in the neurotypical world, I think, have to kind of take up the responsibility as well as the people in the neurodivergent world have to take up the responsibility of treatment and things like that. So it's a dual responsibility. And I think that we'll get there, you know. Okay, I'm done.
All right. Thank you, Tiffany. And
No, I want to get in with Tiffany.
all right,
Tiffany,
Chaplain James.
I like what you said. I like what you said. I like the way you started off. It's a challenge. Yes, I agree with you. It's a challenge. But my thing for challenges is over, under, around, or through, whichever's better for you. You have to combat it. You can't worry about other people's mindset, what they're thinking. Only thing you can do is you. You be the best you can be. You go for what you do, and then say, I hope that's enough. Because that's all that's going to happen. You can't go and worrying about another person's trend of thought or their mind. It's up to you. It's up to you to bring whatever's needed to the table. You know, it's talking about what is my thing? I say combat, defeat, combat, defeat, eliminate
All
the
right.
problem.
All
How you
right.
want to go about it?
Now, at the
I
same
agree,
time,
Tiffany.
we need to do a lot of self-care because when peer specialists go into their work environment, it's inevitable that they're going to get wounded, either from stigma or ignorance or disrespect. There's going to be a wound there, and how you respond to that, well, the first thing I hope is to take care of yourself and to heal. And then once you've done that, maybe the next step is you can fight or you can just tolerate or you could switch jobs hoping for something
It's an
better.
ongoing process, Dan. It doesn't. You don't have to stop. Do you? It's ongoing. You have to continuously do this. It's your process in bettering yourself, making yourself whole, making yourself more, bigger, better, more. You know what I'm saying? It's an ongoing process. It never
Chaplain,
stops.
when was the last time you got your feelings terribly hurt?
I don't allow that. I don't allow another person to control my feelings. I consider myself like a Mr. Spark, logic and reason. Live long and prosper. Why
But
should I give you the flow over my mind?
well, did you know that Vulcans go through this period of extreme emotion and they get like super manic and emotions out of control because they've been bottling it up for so long?
No, the
No,
Ponfar
I'm not
is not
joking.
about that. The
I,
Ponfar is not about that. That's about mating, okay?
yes. Look at you, Dan. You confusing the concepts.
All right, let's go to Anne. Go ahead, Anne.
Whoa, how do I walk into this where we're fighting about fictional characters? Okay. Um, you start talking Klingon too? I wonder what the Klingon is for peer support specialists. There we go. That's the question of the day. Someone figure that out. That'd be great. Gosh, there's so many topics here. I think I jumped in when we are talking about the peer community. I like to say communities, IES, because I don't feel it's one. I feel it's a whole collection of different ones. And I think what I've noticed too is that there can be the acceptance, but that there's this we're powerful people, and there can be a really powerful bullying effect. And I just saw that happening. Well, I've experienced it. Gregory has. And so while it goes to extremes, while you can be very, very accepting, you can also be very, very bullying at the same time. And it's really these really great extremes, and it's hard to deal with. And when I remember before there was peer support as a profession, because we never thought it was gonna be a profession, we didn't dream that up. That's, I'm talking a long time ago. We were just trying to survive in the hospital systems together. Uh, And when it got into the professional world, it's interesting to observe that peer managers sometimes don't understand, or peer executives become executives. They don't know how to work with professional boundaries. I think there's actually something really good to some of the professional world. And my partner who's working in global like HR, and I bring stuff to the table from my peer world, and we just sit there and laugh like, how different is it? And how we could benefit from some of those boundaries when it comes to the work world and the peer world. We don't have them, and that causes a lot of problems and hurt. That doesn't need to be there if we respected some of those boundaries in the work stuff. And I'm just looking at my year in New York on the East Coast now as a peer thing. I have hit so many ceilings, meaning that I can't get in and do like what I was doing in Oregon. In Oregon, we kind of just share information, like legislative or whatever, we work together. Here, it seems like hidden, and people want to keep their corners and their power, and it's really hard to work with. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna move on and not worry about what like the legal kind of stuff or the law kind of stuff, because I don't see an opening yet in this East Coast. But it could be a East Coast culture. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm just saying that sometimes boundaries can be very helpful in making everybody safe.
Well, one, I feel you should always keep yourself safe, and two, break through those boundaries. If you see a boundary, break through it, over, under, around, and through.
I'm
Are you
talking
just gonna
respect,
leave?
boundaries of respect. I'm talking
Yeah,
going back.
whatever.
I'm
It
just talking
doesn't
about
matter.
respecting other people. And
Right.
people in power should respect people like going back to what Gregory was saying, equity. If we really worked from equity in everything we do here, and I think it'd be very helpful. I like what he was saying.
All right, go ahead, Katie.
Thank you. First, just one point. You do not need, per HIPAA, you do not need to tell any employer your mental history or your diagnosis. It is by law not even permitted. They can ask it, you simply refuse. And there are a few companies that embrace concerns around peers. I worked for a wonderful company called Beasley, and I started the mental health services or mental health. I don't even remember what I called it. Mental health access, I think, for the nationwide part of the company in the US. And we did things like have a 5-minute break every day where we would just do a guided meditation every day and acknowledge that sometimes people are at the top of their game and sometimes they aren't. And one of the managers, one of the top people at Beasley, ended up with a breakdown. And they could have just said, you can't work here anymore. They worked around it so that when she came back, she was fully supported. And they talked about if anybody was having those feelings, that they were safe to come forward at this company. It's an unusual company, I gotta say. But the little by little, when you can help others understand that you're not that much different from them, everybody has challenges, but you don't need to tell a potential employer up front, these are my challenges. That's the skill of interviewing. If it is something where you have to disclose, for instance, you're a peer worker and you need them to know that you're an actual peer, that might be different. But you just need to figure out what is going to be the requirement of that interview and then go with the requirement
Are
of
you
the
there?
interview. But you don't add information if it's not asked for and if it's not required. That's that's what I have to say.
Very good, Katie. And that would handle the stigma thing and all that other thing. It should handle it. But if you're going in there with that, that's a you thing. Katie, we making a team here?
Yeah, the thing that is important to understand, I think that what Silea was saying was that she's not talking about herself going in, she's talking about the people that she's supporting going in with that stigma. And
Well,
again,
in that case,
you do not have to give that information if you're going for a job
right.
interview.
And if she's going in with someone, her job is to build them up to make them strong enough to get through the interview. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. You build the person, you help the person, you energize, motivate, or whatever you got to do to get that person through. Whatever their fears, limitations that come up, you help them through it. That's what you do. And if you have them, you help yourself through it. That's what you do. That's why in my thing, it always comes back to you because you don't worry about the other person. You worry about you coming with your best. That's all you can do. How they think about it or feel about it, that's not for you to worry about.
All right, we have 10 minutes left, so I just wanted to hear from some folks who
Yeah,
have.
that's how it went that quick.
Yeah, I know, right? So, Ananda, are you there? Do you have any feelings or thoughts on anything, Ananda?
No, I'm just listening today.
All right, no
Don't
problem.
be
How
scared.
how about you, Anya? What's on your mind?
All right. I really can relate to everybody's story, especially the part about communities, which some other people reiterated. I like what somebody said about community can have a lot of different meanings. I think it was Anne, that community of where you live, mental health community, consumer community, cultural community, religious community. Community has a lot of different meanings, but as I've shared with other people, and I'm sure other people might be going through this too, maybe even around the holidays more than ever, but generally, I'm going through a lot of stress, and I really have heard a lot by a lot of people, do the best you can. So I'm beginning, not that that doesn't mean anything to me, it does, but it's beginning to feel like kind of a cliche to me. Just do your best. And, sometimes I really do try to do my best, as I'm sure we all do. But what if that doesn't work? I feel like for me, pushing yourself to your limits can be helpful, but it also causes a lot of discomfort sometimes. And, you know, the most you could do is probably keep trying, which is what I try to do. But I just find like in terms of do your best, I've heard it from a lot of people. Do your best, do your best, do your best, and then it just kind of sets me up to feel like I fail. So I'm wondering, Chaplain, if Chaplain James has any wisdom about what if you feel like doing your best is just a cliche and there must be something more.
Yeah, I say the way most people say it, it is a cliche. Unless you can sit down and show the person how they need to get there or what they need to do to get there, you're just talking, caca. Yes, I agree. And you would never hear me saying do your best. I want you to do better than your best because your best was what you did yesterday. You have to do more. Progress. Keep going up. Keep doing more. Keep getting bigger, stronger, faster. You see what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
don't tell you just do your best. I want more.
So you feel it can be cliche as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Most people the way they say it, yeah. It's just say it's talk. And people talk so much.
too much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chaplain.
Yes. I agree. I agree.
Thank you.
What was that you wrote, Katie? I didn't get to read it. I I can't go back and forth and concentrate too.
I just said, don't forget to do your best for yourself as well. Be kind to yourself first. It's like in a drowning. You need to make sure you are safe and taking care of yourself before you can help or save others.
Yes, that's I don't need to take time out to say that because that's all included. You have to do all that you need to do for you, and then you can radiate out to others. Yeah. So I don't that's known. That's known.
We got 5 minutes left, you guys, and we haven't heard from Stan yet. Stan,
Yeah, that's right. Stan didn't talk. How you doing, Stan?
unmute Stan. Okay.
Some, somewhat unlike me, eh? Good morning, I'm Stan and I'm an alcoholic.
Good morning, Stan.
I'm glad to be here with you guys today. I'm not speaking very much. I'm in a lot of pain. My my back is turning over on itself, my shoulders, leaving it very difficult for me to stand up or to move basically and to lay down as well. And to find a comfortable place, although I've kind of found one, but it allows me to curl my back. I'm also on a lot of very high dosage that they've increased my prescription almost daily for hydromorphone and for this other steroid, grab or something. You never get the name of that straight. Anyways, pregabalin, I think. It is messing with my mind far more than I would like. It's leaving me confused. And yeah, confused. Thank you, Katie.
We need you back, Stan.
I want to, and Chaplain, let me say this. I've never heard you like this before. You're awesome.
Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you, sir.
and just, yes, the changes. You've made changes, like I don't know how much, but you've made some really
No, I
profound.
think I have. I've toned down a lot from when I first started. Cause I remember some of the stuff. Oh my god. Um, Rita and Miriam would school me on that. No, I was wilder when I first came in, cause I went all out with my philosophy. But I've learned to tone it down.
Yeah.
I thank you for that. Uh,
I
we need you back. We need you back here.
and thank you for that. I would want to get back. You know, this is part of you guys that keep me going with that. You know, like I want to be back. I want to be part of this. I want to, you know, I'm like you, Chaplain James. You know that I want to. This is my passion. You know, this is what I want to be doing.
All right, come on back in here. We'll be waiting. We'll be here, right here, waiting for you.
Right on. Thank you. So I appreciate all of you, and that's where I'm at. I'm taking it a day at a time.
All
I don't know what else to do. So yeah, I don't think I've got that much more to say actually. I said I'm pretty wiped.
It's
Bunch
all
of
right,
people
right.
Stan.
spoken.
I had
Bunch
fun today, and I want you to know this is all Katie did this. She made me do it.
Oh, really?
Yes, she did.
nice,
Okay.
nice, nice work, Katie.
Good job, Katie.
All of you have reached out and offered to call me. If you want to give me a call, I welcome every call I get.
Hey, Stan, can I put your phone number in the chat?
Yeah, please do. Please
Dan, you know
call me.
what? I need Esmeralda to give me. I would like Esmeralda to give me a call. Been trying to get back to her for 2 weeks, and I haven't seen her since.
Okay.
Hi,
All
Helen.
right. I'm gonna
Hello,
s-
hello.
I'm gonna stop the hosting.